हेलो फ्रेंड्स, आज हम बात करने वाले हैं एसोसिएट एग्जाम की सीरीज में। आज हमारा सैंपल मॉक टेस्ट है रिस्क मैनेजमेंट। सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज मैं आपको ये देना चाहती हूँ कि जब भी कोई आप एग्जाम की तैयारी करती हैं तो आप पहले दो पोर्शन में डिवाइड कर दीजिए। जो आपके लिए डिफिकल्ट सब्जेक्ट हैं, जो पोर्शन आपके लिए इजी है। जो इजी है आप उन्हें ज़्यादा क्लियर करने की कोशिश कीजिए सो दैट आपका मोरल बूस्ट हो। और जो डिफिकल्ट है उनको आप उन पीरियड के लिए रखिए जब आपके आई मीन इन केस इफ यू आर वर्किंग लीन पीरियड में आप उन एग्जाम को दीजिए, ताकि आप कंप्लीटली फोकस कर सके अपने स्टडी में, आप तैयारी कर सके। देन ओनली यू विल बी एबल टू मैनेज इट। सो टुडे we are going to talk about some sample mock tests, so stay tuned and do watch the entire video. पहला क्वेश्चन है, डैश कैन बी सीन एज द अपोजिट टू इंश्योरेंस सिक्योरिटाइजेशन। सो हमारे क्वेश्चंस के आंसर हो सकते हैं स्प्रेड लॉस कवर्स, कैपिटल मार्केट, इंश्योरेंसाइजेशन, एआरटी, रेट्रोस्पेक्टिव, फाइनाइट रिस्क। सो हमारा करेक्ट आंसर है इंश्योराइजेशन। इंश्योराइजेशन कैन बी सीन as the opposite to insurance securitization, whereby insurance risks are transferred to the capital market. Second question says, identify the factors which are taken into account while determining the total cost of risk, the cost of any risk control measures, the cost of injury or damage, the cost of handling and settling the loss. हमारा correct answer क्या हो सकता है? Because सारे options correct हैं, both 1, 2 and 3. Purpose of risk control is to minimize the total cost of risk and ensuring the economical survival of the organization. बहुत सारे फैक्टर्स होते हैं जो कि टोटल कॉस्ट ऑफ रिस्क विच इंक्लूड्स आपका कॉस्ट ऑफ इंजरी और डैमेज, कॉस्ट ऑफ हैंडलिंग एंड सेटलिंग द लॉस, कॉस्ट ऑफ एनी लॉस, फाइनेंशियल मेजर्स। तो ये सारे ऑप्शंस करेक्ट है। Question third says technique and the approaches like study and inquiry, physical inspection, checklist, flow chart, etc. are used for dash of risk. So ये हम क्यों करते हैं? To solve a problem, to evaluate the risk, to assess? No. First, we need to identify the risk. Question 4 says, which of the following ambition is an organization's capability to generate net income? So, हमारा correct answer क्या हो सकता है? Balance sheet, growth, stability of earning. Profitability is the thing which generate the net income of the organization. Question 5 says a business faces possibility that it will be held legally liable for property damage or personal injuries suffered by others. Identify what type of loss exposure in this. So examples अगर options देखेंगे, common loss exposure, property loss exposure, liability loss exposure, net income loss exposure, personal loss exposure. अगर हम liability की बात करें and property damage की बात करें, business which is exposed to property and net income loss exposure, the business also faces a possibility that it will be held liable for property. उसे हम कहते हैं liability loss ratio, जहां पे liability arises out of failure to discharge duty of care. So हमारा correct answer है liability loss exposure. Question 6 says identify which is not an example of funded transition contingent capital tool. So options हैं income asset swap, banking product, contingent debt, captive and securitization. So हमारा correct answer है इसमें captive. Question 7, the process of risk management involve either first preventing losses, minimizing, paying for those losses which will be inevitably occur. So आपके correct option क्या हो सकते हैं? देखिए risk management में तीनों options are correct. The process of risk management involves either preventing, minimizing the loss or paying for those loss. So former technique preventing, minimizing loss relates to risk control, and later paying for those losses which will be inevitably occur related to risk financing. Question 8 says which of these are the aftermath of disaster? The interruption period is quite long, property damage, substantial loss to life. So correct answer इसमें तीनों है. Aftermath of a disaster are substantial loss of life, property and long interruption period. ये तीनों आंसर सही है. This could be further divided into industrial and chemical disaster. जैसे कि आप जानते हैं भोपाल गैस tragedy is an example of disaster. Question 9 says cat bonds, credit securitization, weather derivatives and finite risk product. These are the example of risk retention groups, an alternative to insurance product only. Then हमारा आंसर क्या है? हमारा आंसर is only to cat bonds, credit securitization, weather derivatives and finite risk product are example of alternative to insurance product. Many of these instruments are product of the capital market. Question then says, in respect to the risk triangle, we show the degree of risk. The apex of tip of the degree of this triangle indicate that there may be smaller number of risks which may have the most devastating effect, so that it will make it impossible for the business to achieve any of its target. So आपका correct answer क्या होगा? Catastrophic. The smaller number of risks which have the most devastating effects are known as catastrophic risk. In prioritizing, these risks are to be addressed first. So हमारा answer है catastrophe. Question 11 and 12 are very simple. Under which category does risk of ill health, risk of unemployment, and risk of early death plan that fall? It is a personal kind of risk. So हमारे correct answer is personal risk. Which risks are associated with group impersonal and original and affect, and these risks are in form of political or economic changes happening to a group. So these are particular fundamental type of risk, not particular risk. Question 13 says, identify in which way that revenues may get reduced as a result of an accident loss to property. There is a reduction in receivable, there is a loss of rent, there are interruption in operation. So हमारा correct answer क्या हो सकता है? आपके रेवेन्यू कब कब रिड्यूस हो सकते हैं? इन तीनों ऑप्शन में आपका रेवेन्यू reduce हो सकते हैं as a result of an accidental loss. When any of its property get lost, damaged or destroyed, a business may suffer a reduction in the net income until the property is restored. The reduction in revenue as a result of, accidental loss to property include loss of rent, interruption in operation, contingent business interruption, lost profit on business good, reduction in receivable, and increase in expenses. Question 14 says, protected cell companies and renter captives are example of captives. Question 15 says, when catastrophe strike, the firm is prepared to take decisive, timely action and clear communication to all stakeholders and media about those actions, and does indicate and complete these action and communication effectively. So options are catastrophic, active catastrophic risk management, stress testing, extreme contingency planning, catastrophe business integration. So हमारा correct answer है active catastrophic risk management. When catastrophe strike, the firm should be prepared to take decisive, timely action and clear communication to all the stakeholders and media about those actions, and initiate and complete those actions and communicate effectively. Question 16 says activities are conducted at the risk treatment stage: risk elimination, risk reduction, risk transfer. So आपके तीनों stage पे activities are conducted 1, 2 and 3. So हमारा correct answer is 1, 2 and 3. Question 17 says, identify the process which involve trend analysis, stress testing, contingency planning, active catastrophic risk management, catastrophic risk transfer to anticipate the potential disaster which could destroy the organization for the purpose of developing alternate contingency plan. So हमारा correct answer है catastrophic risk management, जिसका मतलब है you need to have trend analysis, stress testing, BCP planning, active catastrophic risk management, problem analysis, and to anticipate the potential disaster that could destroy the enterprise. Question 18 says, the following activities form a part of risk mitigation activity. Arrange them in a correct sequence. Select control, priorities action, assign responsibility, develop implementation plan. So हमारा correct answer है 2. You need to set the priority, then you need to select the control, then third, assign the responsibility, and then fourth, develop implementation plan. Question 19 says, which of the following is not an element of an effective risk management program? Eliminating risk is not an element. Effective risk management practice does not eliminate risk. It provides a clear and structured approach to identify the risk, minimize their negative impact. So वो eliminate नहीं करता, but it can identify and minimize the risk. Question 20 says, as per the international standard, which of the following situations require updating a business plan, BCP management, when there is a change in the contraction supplies, when there is a change in the location, when resources change? So हमारे तीनों options are correct. As per the international standard, update business continuity management is required whenever there is a change in location, resources changes, and there is change in the contractor and supplier. Thank you so much everyone. आई होप आपको आज ये छोटा सा मॉक टेस्ट जो कि रिस्क मैनेजमेंट है, विच इज एन इम्पॉर्टेंट टॉपिक, एंड इट विल हेल्प टू गेट सम इंसाइट अबाउट इंश्योरेंस इंडस्ट्री, हाउ टू मिटिगेट रिस्क, यू विल गेट अ पर्सपेक्टिव आउट ऑफ इट. बट मेरा ये सजेशन है, प्लीज first go through the entire study material, then only you'll be able to clear it. Mock test तो आपकी बात के तैयारी चेक करने के लिए होता है. It is just dipstick how well prepared you are. So stay tuned and all the best for your exam.